Our final presenter this evening is Louis Cherry. He's an architect and an adjunct professor at the NC State College of Design, and he taught a studio in Prague this past summer, as we were talking about. Welcome, Louis, please.
Prague is a fantastic city. It's incredibly beautiful. It draws people from all over the world. And I was so fortunate, me and Marcia both got a gig there teaching for 6 weeks. And to be in a city for 6 weeks, you understand how it sort of lives as a city instead of just a place to visit and admire. So I'm actually not going to show you very many pictures of how beautiful Prague is, but I'm going to talk about something else. In particular, I want to talk about streetcars and how public transportation can shape your experience of actually living in a city. It's well known that Prague escaped the bombing in World War II, and that's why it's so well preserved. But the infrastructure also escaped bombing, and so the public transportation system that has been there, since the 19th century is still in great shape. So a well-distributed streetcar system does a lot of things to a city, and I just want to sort of point out this as a what if. Prague has a population of about 2 million people, the greater metropolitan area. RTP's combined statistical area is also about 2 million people. Just a few facts about their network system. It consists of 85 miles of track, 931 trams, 21 daytime routes, and 9 night routes running till the wee hours, for a total route length of 322 miles. The Prague tram system served 325 million riders in 2012. And their first horse-car tram was in 1875 and the first electric tram in 1981. So in the 1960s, they started building a metro. And sort of the model all over Europe in particular was you build a metro and then you gradually dismantle your tram system and it's replaced by the metro. But sometime around in the 80s, the communist regime there decided that actually the trams work really well, and they kind of changed course and decided to reinvest in their tram system and actually expand it and improve it. And it so happens that some of the cities with the largest and best tram systems are former communist countries, in particular Berlin and Moscow and St. Petersburg. So I was drawn to not just using the streetcars or trams, but also photographing and sort of using it as a kind of a springboard for a photography project. So I really love the way it creates a public and private space, and how many of the riders are either celebrating where they're going with their friends or they're deep in their thoughts. And I know that many of these photographs, some of the people look depressed, like they're considering suicide or something. and that's just my personal sort of notion of good portrait candidates. But it did make me think about when we were first being acclimated to the Czech culture, that we were told that for the Czech population, the definition of optimism is a lack of information. And so that does kind of make you wonder. But a well-developed tram system really does contribute to a walkable city. Think about pretty much anywhere you want to go leaving from where you are and arriving to where you are is about a 15-minute walk. And that's a really healthy kind of walking program. And it's also really manageable. It's really doable. And I'm not suggesting that it's feasible that Raleigh can just like get a streetcar system. No. We all used to have streetcar systems. Almost all mid-sized and large cities did. Raleigh had a pretty nice streetcar system once upon a time. But, you know, I think the focus on light rail can take, I mean, you still have to drive. And the trams are really woven into the city and create a whole different experience. And maybe as we envision a future for Raleigh, there's a way to think about this. And this is me just sort of creating a personal reflection. It's not a proposal by any means. But, you know, maybe there's a proposal for a point-to-point system that actually works and that can share some of the romance of the streetcars that we appreciate just as tourist attractions in New Orleans and San Francisco. But when Marcia and I returned to Raleigh, we were really mournful of the loss of the freedom that comes with not depending on your car for everything that you do. And it was really, inspiring to think that part of an urban experience is really the ability to just go and do things and not be searching for a parking place, and just that we're just dominated by our cars. And so this is just kind of an appreciation for that that idea in the future.